Now, the power sector remains central to Nigeria's drive for industrialization. But beyond generation and transmission, Nigeria must also build the technical capacity to manage facilities, maintain infrastructure, and embrace innovations that can strengthen the entire electricity value chain. One institute at the heart of this mission is the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, Naptin, tasked with training, research, and developing the human capacity needed to address shortage of skilled workforce in the power sector. On the spot today, we'll examine NAPTIC's mandate and its capacity in driving Nigeria's power supply. I am Joseph Otam. Welcome to the program. Now, my guest is a human resource manager and administrator with decades of experience in public and private sector. He has worked as manager, personnel and administration in charge of recruitment under the defunct National Electric Power Authority, NEPA, now Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PHCN. In 2013, he transferred his services to the National Power Training Institute, Naptin, as Deputy Director, Training Programs, and was elevated to the position of Director Business Services. Thereafter, on the spot is the Director General, National Power Training Institute, Naptin, Ahmed Bolaji Nagode. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's all right. It's talking about there's human development, human capacity development there. That's what NAPTIC stands for. Building, conducting research, and so on. Give us a broader insight on what this institute does.
Thank you very much, moderator. National Power Training Institute of Nigeria is an agency of the federal government of Nigeria under the Federal Ministry of Power. And NAPTIN is mandated to build human capacity in the power sector, that is, build existing human capacity in the power sector, and those who seek to build career in the power sector to promote research and development in collaboration with our partners, largely tertiary institutions, polytechnics, universities, and our donors, the donor agencies who support, us in research, areas, largely as it affects, the power sector, especially in the renewable energy, sphere, which is the in thing, now. So Naptin came on board in 2009, inheriting the assets of the defunct monopoly of NEPA PHCN, the training assets of the defunct monopoly of NEPA PHCN. The power sector is a very, very interesting sector. It's a technical sector. It's a sector that from day one, it has human capacity component as part of its activities because it's the focus. It's largely operation and maintenance of infrastructure. And when you operate and maintain infrastructure, you need capable hands. You need trained hands. You need competent hands, to handle equipment in order to protect life and property. And from the time of Ontario, from the time of Niger Dam, that's the first dam in Nigeria, the Ontario, that is, who came in, built the capacity component, of the sector. That is, we have the Professional Skills Training Center in Kanji, we have in Hafam, we have in Ugeli and others, where we have power stations. So the essence of the wisdom behind this is to make sure that as you operate and maintain power equipment, you also build on the skills of those who operate and maintain those equipment. Yeah. So Naptin inherited those assets And with privatization, we are expected to build efficient, effective, workforce for the power sector, and that's what we have been trying to do.
Okay.
We are located in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. We have 8 centers across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, and largely what we do is focus on technical skills development of existing staff of the power utilities, and also create room for those who seek to build career in the power sector to come in and be professionals by having professional courses which they will undertake before they can be allowed, to operate on the power, network.
Okay. Oh, that's an elaborate one. But when you talk about facilities, when you talk about institutes like this, you have many Nigerians question the capacity of such institute to provide that training, that needed training, because of what sometimes is the lack of equipment, or sometimes is the manpower of that for to work in that particular institute.
Well,
Can you proudly say that you have that capacity?
well, I think without no doubt we have the capacity. I must seize the opportunity to thank the federal government of Nigeria for the investment that the government has made in the power sector, especially in human capacity development. We have infrastructure across all our centers, modern simulators. We have also other substations, whereby you can simulate, you can practice hands-on in terms of, the hands-on skill development exercise within the power sector. For instance, in Lagos, we have a complete power system simulator, which will take you from generation to transmission and distribution. I must say, with all sense of pride, that you hardly see that kind of equipment. I doubt very much if you have it even in West Africa. The only place we have seen that one is in is in New Delhi. That is National Power Training Institute of India. That's where I've seen something similar to that. But of recent, we've just commissioned 104-bed hostel and another complex of 5 workshops where we have training in generic, power system, generation, transmission, distribution, and also in renewable, energy. So we have modern facilities to make it possible for us to train young Nigerians in the area of power, skills. And not only that, we have faculty, world-class faculty that can hold its own anywhere in the world. As I speak to you, we have our instructors even training staff of other power utilities within the African continent, even in Portuguese-speaking countries, because we are Center of Excellence under Association of Power Utilities of Africa. That's the consortium, of all power utilities in Africa, and we are under a project, African Network Center of Excellence in Electricity, ANSI. Under that program, we have trained more than 1,000 skilled workforce within the public utilities of Africa, right from Malawi, Mozambique, Angola, Zimbabwe. We have a training contract presently where we're training about 450. We have started with Eswatini, that's the former Swaziland, and they're with us as I'm talking to you. They are in our campus, at Idu, undergoing training. We've just graduated last week a set of another power sector human capacity, human capital, from Eswatini as well. We also have faculty that can deliver, and we also have curriculum. That is the curricula in all various aspects of power training. But what we do, which I think I must also give credit to Nigerian government, I'm very proud of my country, is whenever we have a collaboration with the developed economies on power sector development, the human capacity component has always been injected. For instance, when we have the Nigerian Energy Support program, that is NESP, a bilateral agreement between Nigeria and Germany. There is a human capacity component that made it possible for Naptin to be developed as a leading human capacity trainer in renewable energy. And we have 4 different.
Is it within the African region? Or?
Yes. No, they're just leading, within West African, sub-region.
Okay.
But at least we've taken it, beyond that one, because we have 4 components which they came in and supported us: solar PV installation and supervision, solar PV supervision, solar PV installation and maintenance. That's one. Solar PV supervision, mini grid, design and implementation, energy efficiency. So all those 4 critical areas, the German government, through GIZ, built world-class infrastructure for us to carry out, simulation and also hands-on, training.
Okay, I want you to continue
and also develop curricula in all those 4 areas, and also developed our instructors, that's our facilitators. In fact, they were then taken to Germany for pedagogical, training. So all those 3 components, infrastructure, curriculum, and, also faculty, we have, state-of-the-art, both resources, human capital, and also infrastructure, to handle, all those.
And the facilitators, the trainers, and so on, top-notch.
Exactly. And that's why International Finance Corporation in 2018 came in to have an agreement with Naptin to train about 200 young Nigerians in the area of renewable energy in all those 3 areas: that's solar PV installation and maintenance, supervision, and also mini grid. And since that time, we have been training young Nigerians because we believe the renewable energy is the future of energy, and that's where we need to build, capacity, human capacity, to also generate jobs for young, timid, Nigerians, and also have some level of social inclusion by giving attention, to women and also the physically challenged.
Okay, we delve into the alternative power sources there. Give us an example. There's this clamor for alternative power sources. Give us what are the innovations coming out from there?
Well, I think that's the best way. That's the way to go, because the renewable energy space is now, looking at the issue of climate, looking at the issue of also taking care of, environment in terms of reducing emission, fossil, emission. And, Nigeria has already taken a leading, position within that very space. I know very well that we have a vision, vision 30, to have, 30%, of our energy drive, being driven by renewable energy. We're on course on that. If you look at what Rural Electrification Agency is doing, we are collaborating with Rural Electrification Agency to really drive, that very particular project. We have renewable energy, solar PV all over the place, now. And there's been a lot of reforms, even in the laws, that drive, this, process to make sure that even mini grid have been upgraded in terms of the number of megawatts, that can, be, generated, which is a very good thing, because the Electricity Act of 2023 has also helped. That's one legislative, masterstroke, that also helped, in ensuring that we meet up, with our vision, with, our target, on alternative, energy source. That's the energy transition, yes.
It's all right. We still have much to say, but we'll take a break now so that you also have a little breather for continue.
All right. Thank you.
Stay with us as we go for this short break.
Let's have credible elections at the local government so that these credible people can manage the funds of local government properly. There are a lot of respected traditional rulers in the state who can say, look, enough of this thing. Mr. Governor, welcome. Thank you for coming. When you win, what will you do?
I was the first woman that mobilized women within the local government to form the National Council of Women Society. by creating awareness in women that they must serve, they must be part of what is happening within their community.
If you stop expenditure on infrastructure, how do you now attract investments?
The state governors, the presidency, that the federal government and the local government are all waiting for revenue from crude oil.
Every state has something peculiar. So the emphasis now, if your local government has something peculiar to that particular local government, the emphasis should be keep producing that particular product.
We need to do three things. Prevent the ability of the terrorist groups to generate funding, their ability to recruit, and then their ability to access weapons.
The traditional ruler gives me a title. I sit in the front row in the church, or if I'm going to mosque and I'm calling people are passing in God's own house. What am I doing? I'm mentoring a new generation who think that the only way to be taken seriously is to be seen to have a lot of money.
Good Morning Nigeria, live every weekday between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. on the network service of the NTA.
All right, welcome back to On the Spot. We are discussing Nigeria power sector, building capacity of the skilled workforce. And the Director General of Naptin is here with us. You were talking about renewable energy, that's alternative source of power. Let's go to the skilled workforce itself now. One thing this present administration is keen on is bridging the unemployment gap.
Yes.
Where is Naptin here regarding the training and creating the job opportunities?
Thank you. I must commend Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his visionary leadership. I must say this, with the renewed hope agenda. When you look at the renewed agenda and you look at economic growth and job creation, it's very, very instructive to us, as a training institute, because we have decided to align strategically with the economic growth and job creation, agenda of Mr. President to identify critical job skills areas within the power sector that we can leverage, on. And we have identified three critical areas: solar PV installation and maintenance. There is a big job potential in solar PV installation and maintenance, because that's the alternative source of energy, and as I said, it's the future of energy. So we're building human capacity in that very critical area. As I speak with you, we've trained more than 2,000 young Nigerians in this very critical renewable energy space. And we're working with all our partners, NCDMB. We have a contract with NCDMB presently to train about 200 young Nigerians across the 6 geopolitical zones in the area of solar PV installation and maintenance. That is one area where we can grow jobs, where we can take people off the street, where we can create self-employment and entrepreneurship. We are really focusing on that one, and we have equipment, across our 6 centers to really make sure that we carry out, that very, objective. So SCDMB must be commended for building local content, and this is the way we can satisfy local, content. Second, the electrical installation. That's another critical area, industrial, domestic. We have buildings coming up, and we need to really skill up, our young Nigerians, to be able to take jobs in that very critical sector. We have courses in electrical installation where we train. We work also with NCDMB. We worked with other private organizations to bring in young Nigerians to train. In the area of solar PV, we're working with REA. We have a program, as I speak with that, we have about 100 trainees in our campus, training, we call it RESCO, that is the training the next generation, of leaders. And that's a very, very, laudable, program that, we are driving with REA to train young Nigerians. By the time they are done with that program, they will have, the capacity to install, solar, and they will be they have the capacity to form cooperatives, to be self-employed, and to become entrepreneurs. The third one has to do in the area of metering. We have identified metering. We know very well where we have a gap, meter gap, in the power sector, to really ensure that we're closing that gap. The government, I must commend the Honorable Minister of Power and the federal government working assiduously to closing that gap. So the capacity, human capacity component, of that very scheme, we are now driving with Presidential Metering Initiative, PMI. We're training 4,000 young Nigerians in that very critical, subsector. And by the time we're done with that training, what it means is that 4,000 jobs would be created. That is from day one. But the kind of effect, the ripple effect, that will come with that one. So definitely subsequent, development will bring in more jobs, within that very sector. So we've already signed a contract with PMI, and we're about, starting, the training. Very soon we're going to open our portal, and young Nigerians can, have the access, to the portal, and then, get trained in the area of meter installation.
Okay, you talked about this. A lot of people that listening to you who find whatever product you bring out there worthy.
Yes.
Yeah. But there could be conflict in terms of, we're talking electrical engineering here too. Electrical engineering.
Yes.
Don't you think there could be a slight conflict between those who read electrical engineering in other places and the products you produce out there? Where's this acceptability that this particular certificate coming from the institute is highly valid?
Okay, I think that's very, very important. When you train, we have a principle within, the human capacity environment, capacity development environment, that when you train, you don't issue certificates. There must be an independent body to issue, certificate. But we have awarding bodies, and presently, Naptin is the Power Sector Skills Council. We have National Council on Skills, and for the power sector, Naptin has been mandated, has been licensed, to handle Sector Skills Council for the power, sector. So with this arrangement, we're working with NEMSA. That is the Nigeria Electricity Supply Management Agency. That's NEMSA. Yeah. And, they are mandated, to uphold standard, and also to ensure, some stability in terms of, products that are injected into the market, power products, and also as a regulatory body, they are expected, to monitor, even standard of human capacity that will go and, work on, that very network. So we have a collaboration with NEMSA to issue a certificate that's for the local, consumption. But we also develop collaboration with international organizations, so that those who we train, we issue our certificates, but those who we train can work outside Nigeria. And that's what we are really working, on, to ensure geographical, labor mobility, whereby if you're trained by Naptin, you can go to Ghana to work, you present your certificate. What matters is your level of competence. What matters is those modules.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Exactly.
Do you get feedback from your products?
Exactly. Because we do normal, we do alumni engagement. Recently we tried to really get the feedback from the market, and that is the industry, because definitely our training must have industry linkage. Those who we produce for the industry. We produce for the existing power utilities. We also produce for those who have power infrastructure, to make sure that, and the feedback we are getting, that our products have, be very outstanding. That's those who we train, both in maybe distribution companies, generation companies, transmission companies, that the leading, technical staff, in their various organizations. If we can carefully and patiently, work on all the various projects that are on for now, Nigeria will be better for it.
All right. Thank you so much. Nigeria will be better for it. Thank you so much, Director General, National Power Training Institute, Naptin, Ahmed Bolaji Nagode. Thank you. Nagode.
Thank you very much, Moderator. It's a pleasure being here. I feel highly honored and privileged to be here.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. All right. All right. Thank you too for watching. I'll see you next time on The Spot.